So agile working for me is really giving people the opportunity, people and organisations the opportunity to rethink how they work and where they work and when they work. And that mobility is very useful and powerful. So in effect what we're doing is we're giving people technology and we're providing people with networking capabilities that allow them to be free. You know, that they can choose broadly anywhere that they can work, in a room, out of the room, on a floor, in a cafe, at home, whatever. We can work anywhere in many cases. And, you know, when you think about an organisation, it's really a network of brains, you know, in a sense. And so what we're trying to do with the technology is connect those brains together. Tools like Teams and Slack and things like that do that very well. So we're in effect, we're giving people that opportunity to work anywhere, and we're providing a workplace that has a variety of different sorts of place so that people can be effective in the particular tasks that they perform over a week, for instance. No longer do many people sit in the same desk and do the same stuff. Many times we're in meetings, we're on calls, we're in video calls. We're in workshops, we're out seeing clients, whatever. There's a variety of different things that we do. And our approach is to say, well, an activity-based workplace or an agile workplace really needs to have lots of those different places so that I can be mobile and I can choose those so that I can be the best I can be. So if we're designing a workplace experience, the first thing to do is really get clear about what it is we're trying to achieve. That's the first big question. And what we find is that a lot of companies don't answer that question, or they don't ask that question at the start, and therefore the designer starts designing without any real clarity. And in today's world, where the experience is really becoming part of the marketing toolkit, if you like, for recruitment and retention of the smartest people around, then we have to think carefully about how we can use every moment of that experience, every second that somebody has immersed in the workplace, as a means of achieving some mission. And those missions could be, on the one hand, things like improving, supporting people in being as productive as they could possibly be, and that could run through all the different parts of the building and the journeys and the destination. Or it could be to do with the personality of the business, or the brand, or the values the organisation is trying to present to its people. Or it could be to do with flexibility, agility, the need to change. But, you know, in essence, what we have to do, first of all, is get clear. What is it we want to try and achieve? Who are the people that we want to try and recruit and retain? What are the lifestyle characteristics of those people? What are the things that are going to make those people find the experience positive or negative? And then what we can start doing is working to create a brief, which we're calling the Workplace Experience Design Brief, and that brief then acts as the baseline for the team to then start working to design every moment of the time that people have in the workplace. So what excites me about India is it's fresh. There's a lot of very bright people in India. There is an opportunity to start with a new model. You don't have to just do what everybody else did in the world. And the idea of using technology and evolving to new models of management and new models of competence and behaviour, is the thing. You don't have all the baggage and legacy that certainly we do, and certainly in other parts of the world you have. So I think that it's a great time to be doing these sorts of things in India, and to some degree, I think there are less barriers actually because of that, and the opportunity is there to be got at. Really. In the sense that Indian culture is potentially quite hierarchical, isn't it? So if we're inviting people who perhaps are in their later stages, in their 50s or 60s, in the workplace to change, and there's some status orientation around what they have been given, officers or PAs or whatever else, then that requires a great deal of sensitivity and a very conscious campaign to help people to come to terms with that. Those people, when you start to encourage those people to move into a different model of working, you have to be very careful, because a lot of the things that we're talking about could be seen to be quite threatening. So if I'm losing my office, is this an indication to everybody else that I'm losing my status? What will it be like for me? I don't know what it's going to be like. And it doesn't seem fair. I've been, working in Indian industry for 20, 30 years, and I've made my way through the hierarchy, and I've got my office now, and I've got all the trappings that go with it, and you want me to give it up? It's a very uncomfortable thing that you ask me to do. So there are ways there are strategies to deal with this, but the more hierarchical the culture is, and particularly if it's a national cultural issue, because then you're breaking ranks with everybody, not just in your company, but your colleagues. What will my friends who I have dinner with think of me now that I've done this? And I think it's something that a lot of people in the real estate world and the facilities world just see as being, people being obstinate or intransigent. But in fact, I think what we know from our research around the sort of neuroscience around the whole topic, this is a social threat. And a social threat is treated by the brain almost in the same way as a physical threat is. The same neural connections light up. So, it's almost like threatening to punch somebody in the face when you do this. And so we shouldn't be surprised. We have to be very careful and sensitive about the words we use, about the way in which we introduce the idea. And most importantly, we need to be clear with people about why we want them to do it. It can't just be about using space in a more efficient way.